So let's go through the teaching again of Homa. It might be feeling like I'm repeating, but I'm deliberately repeating it because when we repeatedly listen to this teaching and comprehend the holistic perspective of how we approach the Havan, the ritual, gives you a deeper effect and also give you a profound impact and instantaneous results. We have seen multiple times instantaneous results when people follow the teachings and think through the teachings. Okay? So, the first and foremost is the primordial divine, out of which you were born, and you are the soul, which is part and parcel of the Supreme, and your soul's nature is same as the divine's nature. The soul's nature is same as the divine's nature, which is bliss. And the soul, once it's born into the body, is covered with several layers, avaranas, coverings, like sheets. And out of that, three main parts of you, which is happening in the wisdom body, Vijnanamaya Kosha, wisdom body, is mind, intellect, and the false self. And the false self does not exist in the baby form, which means that before 1.5 to 2 years of age, you did not exist as false self. You existed as the true self, which is your soul, Atma. Now that you have been growing as a child and you have started collecting the patterns, thought patterns, life patterns, emotional patterns, mental patterns from your outer world, your false self starts growing. And how the self is formed is through emotions. It is not through thoughts. The self generates emotions. The false self, generate emotions based on the perception, limited perceptions. And out of that, you get positive and negative emotions. And the negative emotions, 4 types are hurt, fear, anger, and hatred. And we tend to experience the positive emotions, but we do not experience the negative emotions completely. Then the incompletely experienced emotions in that specific memory forms an emotional charge and gets stored in your emotional body. The emotional body carries these charges for approximately 7 years, and after that it settles into your deeper layers of energy body, and in another 7 years, so total 21 years, these same emotions and memory will be transferred to your physical body, and that's how your physical body starts getting illnesses. Not only that, the emotions which are incompletely experienced, that are in your unconscious mind, which you have forgotten, is the cause of all body illnesses and life problems also. These incomplete emotions attract life. So you have hatred towards somebody, anger towards somebody, you have fear and hurt, right? You have more than this, but let's say only these 4 for now. These emotions have the power to attract more of them. It wants to grow. So it will attract such people who will hurt you more. So at any point of the time, you feel, why is this person in my life who is hurting me more? Because you carry so much hurt, and the configuration of the emotions you have stored in this emotional charge baggage determines your partner. or your friends or your job or your colleague, like that. All right. So your entire external world is determined, attracted, and sustained, and also rejected depending on your memory, your emotional memory. Not that you remember or not that you know of, but the forgotten ones, right? Or sometimes you remember, but you forgot the intensity and the kind of emotions and details. You forgot the details of that memory, right? So when we say memory, we are not speaking about remembering one event. We're speaking about a movie memory in which you can see the movie, the experience, like a real movie as though it's happening now. That is known as reviewing the past. Okay. Now, the teaching says that memory is nothing but karma. Karma is nothing but emotional charge, right? So, karma in this context is nothing but the past carrying emotions that comes from three sources primarily. One is Sanchita karma, which is your past life baggage. Second is Prarabdha karma, which is your current life baggage. And third is Agamya karma, which is your borrowed baggage. Means somebody else brought it into your life, into your system, right? So in the borrowed life, borrowed karma, you have everyone else, including the collective. Now, this life and the experience you have had after your 1.5 years of age is enough for you to go through the process. You don't have to necessarily know everything else. And remember what we discussed last time, that this life process starts with your mother and father. Means the emotional build-up started when you were tiny little one, and that time your caregivers are responsible, or you can say the emotions are caused in interaction with them. And same way, your mother had her parents, your father had his parents, and so on. And approximately you're at a time affected by 128 forefathers, because 7 generations affect you at any given point of time. And ancestor liberation process, what we do in HOMA fire ritual, is nothing but finding out who is in this 128 at a given point of time who is active. Because remember, this is repetition, but we are deliberately repeating it. Remember, at any given point of time, one ancestor is operating your ego, your mind, yourself. You think you are thinking, but the person inside you is not you, it is your ancestor, one of them, right? Could be a mother, could be a father, could be a caregivers. And here in this particular program process, we are focusing on people who are not living in their bodies now, who have left the planet, right? So we are speaking about possibly 125 forefathers, right? Grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers, directly blood related people, I'm saying. Physically blood related people, I'm saying, okay? And to find out which ancestor is active out of 128, definitely we don't have the intelligence for that. To find out in that one particular forefather which memory is active, which personality is active, we do not have intelligence for that, right? So we need help of the divine. So that is why you can never do this by yourself, because every time you check, it will be a new ancestor with a new problem, with a new mindset. It is not possible for us to identify, as sometimes we don't even know who it is. Sometimes it's 6 generations above. Even your parents don't know, right? So this is the theory. And the karma changes at no sign. Means it could be one karma affecting you today, could be totally different tomorrow. Even it could change within an hour, it could change even in a minute, even in a second. This ancestor can change, right? So it's almost impossible for you to find out who is active at a given point of time. Just like your body is inherited from your grandparents, same way your mind is also inherited completely, right? What you brought from your past life is a baggage of emotions. Okay, definitely perceptions also determines your life, your generation of emotions, and perceptions also you bring from your past life. Hmm? So which ancestor is active today? We don't know. So we'll find that and liberate them. And when we liberate that ancestor, wherever they are, and then we find the key suffering, the peak one suffering, the peak karma that is affecting you in any area of your life, including your health, we offer the Purnahuti, the final offering. So until this point, we will be offering into the fire several items, right, which we use daily, like food items, and then some jewelry, some coins, and so many valuable jewels, gems, things like that, and several sacred items we offer into the fire. And in final offering, we have the collected one package known as Purnahuti, in which we put so many sacred items and jewelries and gems and so on, valuables, and we make the final offering, and then we put that into the fire. So this fire is sacred fire. It is not a normal fire. It is invoked. It's a deity. So it is not possible that someone else can do it, because to conduct this, that person should be initiated to invoke the Lord of Fire to become the fire. So that is why it should not be tried by yourself or anyone who is not initiated by the Guru lineage. Then once we give the Purnahuti, then automatically the shift from ego to higher self happens. It's automatic. And instantaneously you're out of karma, out of the baggage, out of the cycle, out of the vicious cycle. And then you have something known as freedom. In that time, we move into future visualization, where we get the ability to visualize as the divine. Now remember, if you are not there, if your false self is not there, your mind is not there, intellect is not there, what is there is the Atma, which is nothing but the divine, right? So you are the divine, and then you shift to your true identity here, and then we visualize the future as the divine, right? So there is a big difference between you visualizing your future, like you practice law of attraction, and the divine self visualizing the future. It's very different. So when you visualize future, you can have success, but when divine visualizes, you will have extraordinary success, out of the box thinking, out of the box ideas, out of the box solutions, because the divine is thinking. And then it becomes expansive, it is powerful, and it is aligned with your Guru and the divine. It is good for all. It is holistic, means it's thinking in oneness terms, and it has got positive thoughts and positive feelings. In this segment, you do not have these emotions, okay? These emotions which are negative, and you also do not have positive emotions. What you have that time is transcendental emotions, which are nothing but the emotions of the divine, and your whole body is going to feel it. Your panchakosha, all layers are going to feel at the same time, and that is why dancing is very good at this point of time, and you start manifesting instantly. It does not take time, right? Now, some of the things it may come to you later, but the manifestations happens instantly. instantly at this point of time, whatever you visualize is happening. So how it happens? Some people somewhere make some positive decisions which will benefit you, right? So you're seeing like last HOMA, one person got his job and that person has lost his job and the same company called him back, right? So they made a decision that time. That decision happens when you are inside this, this HOMA, and you're going through this space where there's nothing but future visualization. Sometimes you don't need to visualize, we will visualize it for you, and you'll simply get things happening in life. You will have healings in your body, you will have prayers working out, and so on. Right. So this is a short overview of the HOMA science, which I will keep on repeating every time we have this session. And now I'm going to take a couple of questions from you, and then I will expand into something else. Okay, or I'll give you more insights. So do you have any questions? So it's a great question that you're asking. So you're asking like you do one liberation process 1 week, and then you find one of the ancestors. Now that you know you've been affected by more than 100 ancestors, and at a given point of time one person is active, even if we do liberation, does it sustain or does it come back again? Is that a question?
Yes.
Okay. So remember yesterday I was saying like this karma that you carry, right? We are looking at it from a holistic perspective where this life karma, prarabdha karma, it is possible that we can burn this prarabdha karma if during your awakening process. The 3-day program that we run, this weekend we are running, basically we are working on your prarabdha karma, means this life karma, right? Which will be linked to the past life. Some of your past life also which are active will be taken off. So it is possible that one person can become free of the prarabdha karma, this life karma, which you will see that you don't have much personal suffering. You have mostly suffering that is connected to others. Means others are also suffering when you're suffering, which means that it is more of agame karma, means you're connecting to others, right? Now, past life karma is unlimited because you have 500 lifetimes minimum, and you have different bodies, different species. So this collection is unlimited, means infinite, right? So you can never finish burning all your emotional problems ever. Now, in case you're successful, very rarely, some people go deep and burn this baggage, then they will get lost, because the moment you burn your life patterns, your karmas, you will automatically collect from others and start burning theirs, right? Because when you burn prarabdha karma, you will still have a, a very high quantity of your sanjita karma in your system, because this is not separate from you somewhere else. You carry all of it, right? So you expand into your deeper layers, and then whatever is at freak attuning with resonating, whatever karmas which are resonating with others, they will be experiencing them, right? So their suffering you will start experiencing, right? So you can say like here also you will be stuck even if you are able to do this. So it's not possible for a person by himself to be out of this karma, of the cycle. This is like the basics. So what we do is we go through a continuous process. Now, very few sages have been able to deplete their prarabdha karma, and it is said that 50% of them leave their body within no time, means instantly they leave. 50% of them come down to serve the humanity back. That is known as guru. Guru means they have seen the oneness, and they burn their prarabdha karma. Whatever the karma guru is going through, suffering, is actually collective. Hmm? And it starts with your parents, father and mother, even if they're not on the planet, right? So if you come into the process thinking that you have separate problem to solve, when you try to go deeper, you will see that you're solving their problems, and their problem is infinite. That's why I always say bring your family into the process physically. First option. Second option is every day internally you bring them, but that is like maybe 5% of effect, right? 95% effect is you bring them physically, consciously, at will, at their will into the process, so that your baggage, your role is less to burn. They also start burning, right? Now the question comes to whether about the ancestor, are they liberated forever, right? They too are going through almost the same cycle in their current life, wherever they are. Either they are in ancestor world in their mystical body, or they are roaming around on the planet, or they got a new body, hmm, or they could be they could be somewhere in the universe, or they could be in some other universe. We don't know where they are, but wherever they are, they're going through the same cycle, same repeated cycles. They also have the same kind of sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, and agami karmas. So when we say liberate them, they get one step hike. One hike means they'll get one leap in consciousness. Simply they will wake up and see that some problems are no more there. They will be seeing it as miracle. We are doing work here. They will see it there. So is it a complete process? No. It is maybe one problem we remove them, right? And then they also go through this daily experience of their thoughts, and they produce more emotions, and in the next week when we are going to do the process, they would have already come with the next problem, and then we go through it again. So this is like never ending cycle. Okay, yes, that's why this is an ongoing process. Now it's a great question that you asked, because now the question will be like, what to do then, right? This seems like everything is like hopeless. I thought there's something good here, something I can expect, but now it's like nothing to expect, right? It's like cleaning up the ocean. Hmm? So that answer to your question will come to you in the 3-day program, where we're going to show you the process of awakening, enlightenment, God realization, where our masters have gone through. We are going to go through it, and we'll teach you deeper on those teachings and practices in the 3-day program, where we are going to go deeper into yourself, into your panchakosha. See, this is not expanded yet, right? Panchakosha, there's a lot of teaching here, and then we move back into the divine. So that's a 3-day program, so which we have this weekend. If you're attending, then you will get those states, and those states that you get in the 3-day program, or the 21 days longer program, or individual sessions 18 hours program, right? Even 18 hours individually, in 18 hours you'll get it, right? There you'll have the answers to all of that, which is out of scope for today's discussion. Okay, right? So does that answer your question?
Thank you, Vani, for asking that question, because even I was having this doubt, like, why do we have to liberate our ancestors every time? So I thought once you do that, that person is like released forever. Like, okay, if you have, suppose you have 128 of them, and it'll become 127. So I never knew that they're just getting a hike. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes. Some ancestors very rarely will get into some path with some guru who is capable enough to liberate them. Then at that point of time they could get liberated. It is possible that they are fully liberated. It is possible. Okay, It's not out of context, but in our experience, we are not seeing any yet. Okay? Right. Anything else? When we see that this karma, when we do something for our ancestor, we do it once a year, for example, right? When we see that this problem affects us once in a while, once in a week, we do once in a week time, right? But now that you see that it's an ongoing problem inside us, right? You start seeing that there are some patterns inside you, which is ongoing every moment as thoughts inside you, and you see in life those patterns. Remember the teaching, thought patterns equal to life patterns equal to thought patterns, right? So thought patterns are nothing but life patterns. So in life, you will see some of them manifesting. So you contemplate on your life and you will see that some unseen, unknown, newly discovered patterns, not that ones you know already, not the ones you have been working on for last several decades, but new one found today is what we are looking into. And you'll see that some new patterns form up, or existing patterns you see in different other aspects of life, or you see patterns within patterns, like we discussed. Like something new will come into you. Now you would see that patterns have been affecting your life for so many years. And you have been trying to overcome that pattern, or you've been trying to beat that pattern, you've been trying to solve that pattern, you've been trying to heal, but nothing is happening. Still the pattern is on. Only then you will move into surrender. Until then, your ego will come up with some solution to solve it. As long as you have another backup solution, for example, even as you listen, your mind will say that, oh, this problem I know how to solve, I know this way to solve. I know option A, option B, option C. I know at least 3 methods. I don't need to do this process. Your mind is definitely going to say something that will not lead you to surrender. Surrender means you have tried a lot, but you're tired now, you're ready to give up the efforts, right? So giving up the efforts is equal to surrender. Surrender is not a physical, mechanical action that we do, right? So giving up the internal efforts is surrender. So this surrender, when it happens, your energy system opens up for diksha, energy. When I sent you the final energy, or even the process diksha, this unconscious mind, this is your enemy. Remember, your unconscious mind is the problem of all your problems, cause of problems. Not even one problem is there which is not found in unconscious mind, even though you didn't cause, you find it, somebody else is doing it on you, even though you feel you are the victim and other person is wrong, still your unconscious mind is actually unconscious mind only attracted that person to you or that event to you. This is 100%. So this is something which is very difficult for the intellect to grasp or accept. When you listen to this teaching, automatically your mind will reject and say, I don't think it's completely true because of these problems, right? Even after listening to this teaching for hours, people have said after 2 days they tell me like, oh yeah, I went through all of it, but my partner, he's definitely not my manifestation because I'm a good person, that person is a bad person, that bad person did bad things to me. Like that your mind will start speaking. The moment your mind starts speaking, if you start listening, you are out of my process. You see, where is surrender? There is no surrender there. Surrender, when you feel your body will go into deep samadhi, means you will feel like your body cannot be moving. You'll go into complete physical body will go into complete kind of paralysis phase where you don't have any more strength. You will feel like crying, but at a point, deeper point, even crying won't be there. That time, this Diksha, which comes from the divine. Remember, Diksha is nothing but the drop of the divine. It's a single drop of the divine, which comes, the infinite divine, which comes through your higher chakras into your heart and then spreads into your koshas, right? And then we start accessing the unconscious. Diksha helps in accessing the unconscious mind, what you do not know, and only to what you should know. If you attempt to do or play with your karmas, or if you ask someone else to do it for you, it is possible that you could touch unnecessary things, right? So that's why this is very sensitive. Only the divine must do it for you. This is your source, right? The divine energy will come in, which is completely infinitely intelligent, to understand millions of emotions, and from millions of emotion, one single emotion is active at a time. One single emotion in one single moment, in one single memory, is driving your life problem now, right? And we say that in Homa, we say that that emotion that you're feeling, that thought which is generated out of that emotion, that person who is going through that experience is not you but one of your ancestors. Hmm? Then you will start seeing who is responsible, which ancestor is responsible. Every time it will be a new one. A new ancestor will come to you, right? I've seen that. I've not seen repeating even till today. Suppose it repeats, it is a different memory, different emotion for the same forefather. Sometimes it happens, but always it's surprising. And the fire is there. Whenever we start the fire, which we already started today, when we start the fire in the presence of Lord of Fire, not a raw fire, sacred fire, will penetrate through these layers of ancestors. So up to this father and mother, you have little bit of possibility, but going deeper than into the forefathers, the fire medium is required. Why? Because fire exists in here and there at the same time. Fire is one element of the nature which exists in this world and concurrently, simultaneously, it exists in the other realm also. So that is why it's very, very deep. Fire, physical fire has to be there, right, to burn the karma deeper. So that we already done. And also it takes 2 hours minimum, 2 hours for this process. And then you move into this freedom. Now, because we have done the process today morning, already at least some of you would be in this state. So today you wouldn't have have had much suffering because we already dealt with it in the morning. Okay. So this will be some teachings for you. Hmm? Right.